I was in second grade when my teacher, Miss Chu, held up an object in front of the entire class and said, "Can someone raise their hand and tell me what this is?" Eager to participate, my hand shot up, and equally as fast, she called on me to share. "An estic," I said confidently. "A what?" she replied with a confused look. A couple of my classmates began to chuckle. "An estic," I said again, with a little more volume, but a lot less confidence. This time, more of my classmates were laughing. Confused, she replied, "No. Can someone help Kareem?" A classmate raised his hand and said, "A rubber band?" with a clear question mark at the end of his response. "Very good. A rubber band," Miss Chu replied. To this very day, it was one of my most embarrassing moments. Everything from my overconfidence by raising my hand to my classmates who were probably laughing at my responses because they thought I said the word ass or just thought what I said sounded funny. English wasn't my first language. Arabic was. And do you want to guess what the Arabic word for rubber band is? That's right, estic. If you're lucky enough to build a career as an educator or commit to working in lower income schools, you will eventually work with a scholar whose native language is not English. When that happens, what will you do? That's where translation comes in. Effective translation practices can bridge the gap for scholars with diverse linguistic backgrounds and the curriculum. Translation involves employing a variety of strategies to help scholars who are not yet proficient in English understand and engage with the curriculum. Let's cover some strategies that you can use to support a scholar who does not yet speak English. First, we want to do an assessment of our classroom to identify the specific language needs of our scholars. Working with language specialists and using assessment data will help determine their proficiency levels. Then, there's the most obvious. Have verbal translations of the lesson, which would be invaluable because it allows real-time comprehension of complex concepts. If that isn't available because you aren't multilingual and there isn't another educator in the room who can provide real-time translation, here's a few other things you can do. Spend time translating written materials, whether they be handouts or assignments, into the scholar's native language. With the internet and AI tools, this has never been easier to do. Another way to let your scholars know that you're thinking about them is to spend time labeling visuals everywhere possible. Anchor charts around the room, objects, and any new diagrams that might be used for the lesson. You can create bilingual glossaries of key terms and concepts for each subject you're teaching, so scholars can quickly reference and understand new vocabulary. I'll admit, these require some advanced planning and are very time consuming. But second to a real-time translation, these are the next best thing. Then of course, we have the scholars who might not be able to read yet. In that instance, planning to use visual aids such as pictures and diagrams can support understanding and retention by providing contextual clues. When appropriate, use sentence frames. A sentence frame is a structured template that provides a partial sentence with blanks to help learners construct complete sentences. It guides the structure of the sentence while allowing for the insertion of specific words or phrases. For example, "I feel blank because blank" is a sentence frame that helps learners express their emotions and reason. During the lesson, use a variety of mediums such as videos and experiments. If possible, use closed captions with videos to help scaffold learning for both English language learners and their peers. When leading instruction, ensure ample wait time for scholars to answer, and use gestures in an almost exaggerated manner to help with understanding. If possible, encourage peer support by pairing scholars with bilingual classmates who can help translate and explain concepts. This furthers their personal learning because teaching reinforces the concepts that were learned. Be sure to provide extra support to the scholar who is providing the translation to ensure they understand the material and do not fall behind because they're assisting. Besides, we don't want our scholars reinforcing the material in the wrong way because then it hurts both scholars' learning. Lastly, a strategy like pre-teaching vocabulary with visuals can go a long way. Now, let's take a moment and suppose you're teaching a geometry lesson covering shapes. Start by providing a translated version of the lesson plan and key vocabulary words in the scholars' native languages. Use visual aids by pulling up pictures on the internet, pre-printing images, or even drawing diagrams and pictures to illustrate the different shapes. During the lesson, incorporate simple language and clear explanations, and check for understanding frequently. Encourage bilingual scholars to explain concepts in their native language to their peers, facilitating collaborative learning and mutual support. As technology continues to become more advanced, language support and translation will get easier. But in the meantime, using these strategies as a starting point can help scholars who don't speak English feel more included. Remember, translation is not just about converting words from one language to another. It's about ensuring that scholars can fully participate in the learning process and access the same educational opportunities as their peers.